Well, gamers, football's in full swing right now, so I thought it'd be a great time to review Battle Ball. Football of the future. Let's check it out. Alright, so this is Battle Ball. As you see, this is a huge board. Look at my hand. This board is 3 boards put together. It's so huge, it's life-size almost. What you have 2 teams. You have a red team, you have a blue team. Here are your placemats for each team. You're the Iron Wolves or the Black Hearts. And what you're trying to do is, of course, you're trying to grab this die-cast football that's on the 50-yard line and run it to the opposing player's touchdown end zone area. So what you have here, you have several different people. There are different colored bases there. And there's a reason for that, because there's certain dice that go with them, which means that's what die you would roll when you have to move. So as you can see, red people use a 20-sided die. Green use a 12. 10-sided die for blue. 2 yellow dice for the big bruisers. 1 yellow die for the second biggest bruiser. And then, of course, a black die for this guy. Now that's in no particular order. That's just how they are set up. And how you would move, you'd roll each one of these dice and move them that many squares across the way. So as you can see, these guys move very fast. Maybe I should move them over here. Where these guys move slower. Now with the big guy, what you would do is you roll both die, and the highest of those 2 is where he would move. The only thing is, if he ever rolls doubles, his suit powers down and he freezes for that turn. And if he's carrying the ball and he rolls doubles while he moves, he also fumbles. So he's a big bruiser, but he's kind of clumsy with the ball. Anyway, so how the game is played. As you're coming up here, you're going to have to go and get on this ball. When you get to the football, you're going to put the ball right there on the stand. Only took me 3 takes to do this. And run with it. Now, if you come across an opposing player, you have to move in for the tackle. Now, in this area, what you would do is I would take, he's a black die, he's a blue die. Each player would roll the die, and the lowest number of those 2 would win. So a 2 beats a 3, he would remove off the board. Now, if he moved a 1, then that's a permanent hit. If someone rolled a 1, that's a permanent hit. I don't have a 1 on here, I guess. Where's my 1? There it is. That would be a permanent hit, which means he would be permanently out of the game. But just getting a lower roll than him, that removes him temporarily from the game just for that half. And on the next half, he would come back, unless it was a 1, and that would be he would permanently remove from the game. Now, what if they tie? Well, if they both tied, let's say they both rolled 7s, okay? Then they would both be out. Or if they both rolled 1s, they'd both be permanently out. Either way, whoever gets removed, a damage token is played in that area. Now, you can't move on that damage token for the rest of the half. At the end of the half, we'll remove those damage tokens. If the guy carrying the ball, though, is the guy who got hit, well, then he loses the ball. There's a damage token put in his spot, or right here, I guess it was. And then the person carrying the ball can determine where the fumble went. So he can push it here, 1 square around where he was. And that's where the ball would lay for the next round. Now what you're going to get to do for each round, you're going to move each other's entire teams if you want to. You can move all of the players on the board, or you can just move some of them. So for instance, if I wanted to, I could roll for each one of these and have them variously around the board like that after the round is over. And after that turn, the next person would move their pieces around the board. And you're going to go back and forth fighting over this ball. Okay? And of course, when you come across someone. So as you see, even though they're pretty slow, these characters can be really heavy hitters. Because in this case of tackling, the big guy would roll 2 of them, and he would take the lowest roll for the hit. So he gets to take the highest roll for his movement and the lowest roll for his hit. So he's very dangerous. Now, as you go through the game, you're going to be eliminating each other's players and slowly making it to the end zone. Once that's over, you'll restart the game, take away all the damage tokens, put everyone behind the 20 again, however you want them. You may have some people guard your touchdown goal line or whatnot. But anyway, once you've done that, you go back through and play it again. One other thing you can do, you can pass the ball. If you want to pass the ball, they have this, look at this 6-sided football die. I love this die. And what it does is, let's say that my blue guy wants to pass it to this black guy here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away. In fact, I'm going to move him up to, let's say 10 spaces away. This is a big throw here. Okay, what he's going to do, he's going to take the football die, and he's going to take the blue die here, and he's going to roll it. If the total of these count as the number of spaces, the pass is complete. So let's see, it's a 12. I rolled a 5 and a 6, that's 11. No, it's going to come up short here. Now, if it was a 10, it definitely would have made it to him. You don't have to overshoot him. You have to get just enough to get to him. But if it was, let's say it was an 11, he was 12 spaces out. Well, the ball goes right here and it gets fumbled. The opposing player gets to determine where it gets fumbled to. Now, if there was someone in that area, let's say there was a blue person here in that area, and it got fumbled. If it's within one area of this guy, he intercepted the ball. Okay, that's where an interception would come through. Now, same thing on a handoff. When you're handing off the football, let's say to your same player here, blue and black there. Those are the bases. I would roll both the blue and black die. If these came up on doubles, it would be a fumbled handoff. But let's see, they probably won't be a fumbled. Now, 6 and a 7, woo, barely. So he handed the ball off to him. So you can do a lot of handoffs in the game. And as you can tell, handing off to these guys may be a little precarious because they can roll 1 through 6. And if you're rolling people, like if I roll the blue and the yellow, I may be more prone. Yeah, there it is, 4 and a 4, I did it. And so that would be a fumble there. So you need to watch out because fumbles can happen in the game. Drop passes or interceptions can happen as long as the players are in that position. But basically, you're going back and forth on this until someone scores a goal. And once someone scores a goal, that's the end of the half. You play a second half, and if the other person scores a goal, then you go into overtime or sudden death or whatever they call it in the box. And the winner of that is the winner of Battle Ball. All right, so final thoughts on Battle Ball, football for the future. This is a game that came out in the 90s. I didn't know about it and then came across it while I was just looking for games. I love the figures in this. And I thought, well, it looks kind of neat. It came out in the 90s. It may be fun. And I got it. And I got to tell you, folks, I love Battle Ball. First off, the miniatures are just beautiful. The board is huge. And you get all those cool dice, even the football die, which I really love. Now, I'll be honest. Personally, football for me is a fading sport. I used to love college football. Now, I haven't watched much college football. That's probably because my Mets have gotten into the playoffs the past couple of years, and I care more about baseball than football. But that being said, I love this game. This is the only football game I own, and it's the only football game I'm going to keep because it's just great. There's no other need for me to look at any of the football games. Even if you don't like football as much, you're maybe so-so as me. You'll watch it if it comes on, but you're not that really big a fan. Your friends are a fan. I'll be honest, this is the kind of football you can get into. You don't have to be a fan. If you're a fan of football, then yeah, you should get it. It's fairly cheap too online. I think at Gen Con I saw some going at the auction or whatever for like $7. It's ridiculously cheap. So I almost picked up another copy to give to a friend of mine. But Battle Ball is a super fun game. When I unloaded it, I thought, oh yeah, this looks great. It's easy to play, easy to teach. On the back of those little placemat cards, they do have an advanced game where each team gets a special movement, and that's nice, but I think it's kind of imbalanced that way, so we never play with the advanced ones. I kind of wish they would make a few other teams for this. I wish an expansion had come out. I'm thinking maybe they were going to have one. Expansion would have 2 sideboards with different end zones, maybe a green team and a yellow team, or a purple team and an orange team, and then they could each have different powers, and maybe then it'd be more fun. But 2 teams is enough. 2 players is fine on this. It's a fun 2-player game, and gosh, I'm glowing over it. I love everything about this game. So Battle Ball, highly recommended. All right, gamers, that is all the time I have for now. Until next time, down, set, game on.